Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, or see them yopo.
Randy, religious tolerance in Ghana is because of Bawumia. Even me at my small parliamentary level, I visit churches, I visit mosques, I've even been to shrines when I've been invited. So a vice president who is merely invited to church programs does not ensure religious tolerance. But they have made it an issue. Is that what
Bawumia said?
But that's what you are saying. That's the narrative, Randy. They have designed flyers.
In fact, yesterday,
and they put it out.
Yesterday's Statesman.
Yeah. It is a key campaign. Randy, you see,
me yesterday's
Randy,
Statesman.
it is a key campaign. You see, Randy, you know, I understand fully that religious and ethnic matters are sensitive. So I will be circumspect. I'm not going to be, you know, I won't say things that offend anybody's sensibilities.
Like Sam George.
No, Sam George has done no such thing. If there's time, we will come to it. Randy, have you noticed that since he won, suddenly there's a trooping of all manner of religious leaders to go and congratulate him?
But the Daily Post says Bawumia.
Randy, tomorrow, we are aware that tomorrow at 11 a.m. They've gotten imams around the country to go and visit him. Tomorrow. There's also word that there's actually a deliberate mobilization of some church leaders, religious leaders to go and pay him visits. We have even heard of monies that are being paid to facilitate those visits. But Randy, you would ask why, Randy, you will ask why suddenly ethno-religious matters have become high on the MPP agenda, Bawumia's agenda. Why is that even the issue? And you see, I don't know whether you are aware, and Anakumia may deny it, but we know it for a fact. You know, in 2016, they waged an evil whispering campaign against President Mahama along ethnic and religious lines. They didn't say it on platforms because they could not defend it. They waged a whispering campaign on the ground, Randy, to the point where they went telling people in the communities that Mahama was in fact a Muslim who had changed his name for political expediency. Rather, you remember that in some of their strongholds, they made denigration of Mahama along ethnic lines a key issue, to the extent that people were referring to every headquarter they met as Mahama. And you are aware of that matter. When they meet a headquarter, hey, Mahama, Braha. It was a deliberate ethnocentric campaign, but they waged it below the radar in order that it does not attract condemnation from decent-minded people. And as they say again in Akan, it will that bow poison that they pumped into people's head, they fear will affect Bawumia because of where he comes from and his religion. It is the reason why, for some time now, Randy, they have made it an agenda to sanitize and cleanse Bawumia's image in this regard. And we know, you know, Kusibuati, or is it Kwabena Bijenfi? What's it called? Is it Kusibuati or Kwabena Bijenfi? What is the legal position on that matter?
You're referring to the pastor.
Now, what is he? Is it Kwabena Bijenfi or
both? You can use it interchangeably.
Imagine a man of God. We can't even identify him properly.
No, it's okay.
He was key in this mobilization. This sudden gravitation towards churches. Randy, President since Nkrumah, I'm sure even got this back when he was the governor of the Gold Coast, used to honor invitations to religious programs. Kufuor has done it. Mills everybody has done it. Parliament, Nana Kumia when he was MP, I'm sure he used to go to the major Pentecost. They have this, what do you call it, major church around the Bubuashi and about. I'm sure he used to go there. So it has never been an issue. But because of your own viral campaign against your opponent, you fear that the same chalice that you gave to your opponent to drink, you'll be forced to drink from. So they have suddenly made ethno-religious campaigning a key issue and are pushing it at the expense of the critical issues that matter to the people of Ghana. But you see, Randy, they say that religion is the opium of the masses. That's Karl Marx, right? Randy, but I can assure you that opium does not cure hunger. Opium does not cure hunger. When a man is hungry, and even he's taking opium, once the opium clears, the hunger will surface and his stomach will start growling. At that point, you see, Randy, the 19 people who have died from the non-functioning of the renal unit, I'm sure when you go there, you will find Muslims and Christians in there. The 1.3 million bondholders, including pensioners, whose proceeds have been withheld and have been thrust into hardships. Right? There's one woman who protested some months ago and said that she has 2 mentally challenged children, and it is the process of these bonds that she uses to fend for them. Now she doesn't have it. People have to buy drugs in old age. They don't have money to do so. According to the World Bank, 850,000 Ghanaians last year alone were plunged into poverty because of inflationary pressures. Andy, when you look into these people, and these are human beings, there are Muslims in there, there are Christians in there, I'm sure there are even atheists in there, or those who believe in traditional religion. When your child goes to school and he sits on the floor or lies on his belly, it does not discriminate against Christian or Muslim. Rather, the hardships we are facing, the problems we are going through, the difficulty, the anguish, the suffering and pain we are going through has not discriminated between an Ashanti and an Ewe. It has not discriminated between somebody who subscribes to the Hindu belief or who attends Assemblies of God Church. So when people enter the booth to vote, Randy, they will vote based on their personal circumstance. Just like MPP delegates, almost 40% of them did not find Bawumia worthy enough to invest with leadership of the MPP. So this ethno-religious thing, this artifice, Randy, this artifice they are building. You see, one of my problems with Bawumia is his penchant for make-believe. You know, make-believe. Things that don't exist, he says they exist. The same way he came to posture as some knowledgeable person on the economy. Today we can't even get syndicated loan. And he's been forced to flee the economic debate. Suddenly, he is the one who has unified people in this country. As if before he emerged in 2008, when he was plucked from relative obscurity to become running mate of Akufo, before he came, we were at each other's throats. We were cudgeling each other over religion. Make believe. Suddenly we are being told that he is the one who brings people together. Right? When you meet people, do you push them into gutters? When you meet people, do you push them into gutters? So this thing about bringing who together, how has that helped the man whose relative has died from his inability to access dialysis service at Kolebu? How has it affected the man in Norton who is swimming in water instead of living in a decent house? The 850,000 people who have been pushed into poverty, how has bringing them together helped them? And you see, Randy, the final point, this thing about, he is the first non-Akan to become flag bearer of the MPP, as if it is an achievement. Last week I made a point that it is mere tokenism. You see, Randy, if non-Akans in the MPP have to wait for 70 years before they can lead the MPP into an election, then it is not you and I who have classified the MPP as an Akan party. It is their own party already. The MPP, at least the tradition that they come from, was formed in 1954. That is 70 years ago by traditional authorities in Ashanti and Achim. They've had 6 or 7 presidential candidates, so if you like prime ministerial candidates, before now. The first one was J.B. Dankwa, Nana Akufo-Addo's uncle. The second one was Buzia Akan. In fact, they even had opportunity to select a ceremonial president. They selected Nana Akufo-Addo's father, and Ekuapem Akan. Then in the 70s, they split into 2. Even when they split, they still chose Akans to lead both factions. Nana Akufo-Addo's uncle Pawuli and Victor Owusu. Then, when we came back to constitutional rule, Professor Dubois was selected. Then the lot fell on President Kufuor. Then Nana Akufo-Addo. In fact, it is 7 presidential candidates on the trot have been Akans. And it has taken 70 years for non-Akans. Meanwhile, we know that in the existence of the MPP, there have been prominent non-Akans who have played roles. Yet it has taken them 70 years to even get the opportunity to lead the MPP. This doesn't give you plaudits at the vote. In fact, if Ghanaians were looking for inclusivity and diversity as key parameters to vote for a particular party, why would they waste time with the MPP? And we, the NDC, have been around for barely 30 years. And yet, in that period, ethnicity has never been an issue for us. Our founder came from the Volta region. He was followed by an Akan man. Now we are led by a Northerner. Randy, we in the NDC, a time will come when we may even have two accounts on our ticket as presidential candidate and running mate. Two others, one as presidential candidate, one as running mate. And it won't matter because Ghanaians see that by default, we are diverse. In fact, that is where we should get to. Two gunmen should be able to be on the ticket, and it won't be a problem. People will look at the substance that they bring to the table, not where they come from. It is in the NPP that where you come from is an issue, such that if a non-Akan is elected, it is major news. Why should it be major news? 70 years after the formation of your party or your tradition, you are now presenting to us a tokenist intervention and telling us that you have a first Northerner. In any event, the man is going to meet, is he not a Northerner? So how does that even give you advantage? So honestly, whichever way you look at it, Bawumia is an extremely vulnerable candidate. Extremely vulnerable candidate. And then on their running mate team, you see Randy, the truth is that Bawumia himself does not have much gravitas in the NPP, as the elections have shown. As this election has shown. He is not an Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo secured 94.43% in 2014. In 2010, he secured 78%. You see, as for whatever happened before they expanded their delegate base, you cannot use it because it's not a good metric. So when President Akufo-Addo was going into the 2016 election, you saw that the win was in the sales. He had the entire party established. Even though they were butchering themselves at their headquarters, their base was solidly behind him. So it was little surprise that he won by a convincing margin in 2016. Bawumia does not have that. So all this jostling that is going on, he better takes his time to study the terrain and do what will be beneficial to him.
You're talking about campaigning on ethnic basis. I'll read you something, Randy. And I'm quoting directly John Mahama. He says, sometimes I feel sad when I see some of our Northern brothers also running around doing this. Then he was doing the sign there. They would use you and dump you. Eyezu. Then the crowd responded. Eyeza. And he went on. I want to live to see the day. You let something happen today. And let our brother Bawumia say he is standing for president today. They will never give it to him. I can assure you. Let me skip some of that and go to the conclusion. Then he concludes. And so, I am proud to be a member of the NDC. Because I know it is a party that offers opportunity for all people of Ghana, irrespective of their ethnic affiliation or your religious affiliation. Now here's somebody saying that somebody, because he is from the North now, will never be elected as the flag bearer of a political party. So who's doing campaign on ethnic basis? This is President Mahama, your leader. Let me quote another person who, perennial rabble-rouser, Ofuso-Kwakye. And listen to what he says. I feel very sorry for Dr. He purported to have forgotten Dr. Bawumia. So he says, I feel very sorry for Dr. What's his name? Mahmoud Bawumia. This Ofuso-Kwakye at his insolent best. But is that it? All he needs to do is take a good look at what happened to Alhaji Aliyu Mahama. Is Mahmoud Bawumia actually dreaming that in the unlikely event of NPP winning power, somehow, after Akufo-Addo has run his term, you, Mahmoud Bawumia, will be made a candidate of the NPP? Are you dreaming, Mahmoud Bawumia? Are you dreaming? You don't know the party in which you are. You don't understand that if you are not Ashanti or Achim, you have no chance. This is Ofuso-Kwakye. I've just quoted Mahama and John Mahama and Fifi Kwakye. There's more. So, which party is doing ethnic politics? Which party? And Felix comes to sit here rapping, telling us that it took 70 years for the NPP to elect a North.
I lie.
It's a very distasteful comment.
Yeah, but it's every day. Is it not?
Let me show you.
I said,
Take it easy. Let me show you why. So if I say to you, or somebody says to you, that how long will it take the NDC to elect a Muslim, even as running mate? Is that where we want to take our?
But we've had a Muslim as running mate.
Is that where we?
Alhaji Muhammad Mumini, 2004.
Have you had a Muslim as your flag bearer before?
No, but it is not.
How long?
But it is not a problem at all. Because we both know that it's only a matter of time.
In your case.
Yes, because we've done it. We are diverse. It's clear. Even gender. We've bridged the gender bridge. We've bridged
in your case.
Yes.
It's not a problem.
It is not. Yes.
In somebody there's a problem.
Major problem. Major problem.
You see? You see the hypocrisy?
Major problem for you.
So let's not get ourselves into that debate. Okay? Let's not get ourselves into that, because then everybody can raise all kinds of issues that are totally just heat, no light. Stop that. Okay? It's not going to help you. So when John Mahama was the presidential candidate from the North, that's your flag bearer in 2012, he could go around trumpeting his Northness and to chide NPP for not having a Northern. At that time he was doing that. Was there some war between Northness and Southness? So if it was relevant for the NDC and John Mahama to champion, to use their Northern origin to do their campaign, you are coming to sit here to say that, even having even heard Bawumia speak in these terms that John Mahama spoke, you're coming to sit here to chide Bawumia. You take advantage of your so-called inclusivity because you have a Northerner as your running mate, as your flag bearer. But in somebody's case, it's ethnopolitics. And I come to rap to us about this. Now, he talked about economy and that we have failed. And Felix, sometimes you try to be insulting and it's not necessary.
Yeah, who have I insulted?
No. You see, last week, today, you've told us that Bawumia is a token candidate. And rather, you should be stopping him.
I said tokenism. I didn't say he was a token. I said you are engaged in tokenism. It's not an insult. It's a legitimate.
We've engaged in tokenism by electing Bawumia.
Yes, it's tokenism. How is that insulting?
Yeah.
How is it insulting?
Take it easy. And you should be stopping him when he gets on that tangent.
Why?
You have called Fifi Kwakye insolent.
Why?
You have. That's actually an insult.
Why?
When he goes.
Why, Nana?
You just
Why
called Fifi
he is
Kwakye insolent.
describing somebody as a token.
He didn't do that.
And
He
you didn't do that.
described an action by the
Exactly.
party.
Yes.
You have
It's
just
an
called
act
our
of
general
tokenism.
secretary insolent.
The
A
two of-
50 something
the
year old
two of
man.
you should not talk at each other.
Yes, I'm talking.
I'm saying.
You said Fifi Kwakye is insolent. A 50-something-year-old man.
Yes.
50, he's insolent.
Yes.
But Bawumia, he cannot be a token. He's a token. I've said it actually. In fact,
He's
I've
a
actually
token.
now stated he's a
Okay.
token.
Now, when you say he's a token, you have said that the man himself has no merit. And that is only there as a token.
Yes, it's
And
actually a
then,
valid
and then,
criticism.
and then can I finish? You
Yes,
just
you are-
right. And
okay,
then
right.
you've also insulted the NPP delegates who elected him.
Oh, how?
That they don't know what they are doing.
How?
It's not fair. If I came here to say that John Mahama is a token, will it be fair?
How?
And so you should be checking him when he goes on
Nana,
that tangent.
Nana, you described Fifi Kwakye.
A 50, almost
As a
60-year-old
person-
man.
Hold on.
Yes.
A person who was also elected.
And I have shown
No,
you
hold
why.
on.
He's
But
almost
he's also
60
shown you
I'm
that
almost
he
showing you
disagree
why.
with him.
How has he shown that Bawumia is a token?
Because you have come under criticism
No.
for not having non-accounts on your ticket. You want to cure that. That is tokenism. You don't mean it. It doesn't run deep.
So
That's all.
John Mahama has come under criticism.
For what?
Huh?
For what? For what?
Oh, you want me to start criticizing him now?
Yes, so tell me what he has done that is tokenist. Tell me.
And you have elected him. So then I should also be right in describing him as a token.
For what?
You
What is
you
this?
see, you
What
are
is
way,
this symbolizing?
Hold on, you are way above that debate.
What is this symbolizing?
You see,
Tell me.
my problem is that you are way above that debate. That's why I'm drawing your attention. Now, and Randy, Randy should draw you back when you lose your age. You should be drawing.
I don't have to.
Now,
Because it's legitimate, perfectly legitimate.
I don't have to.
Go and think about it.
Nana, I don't have to think about it.
It's
See,
perfectly
you can't
legitimate.
appropriate and reprobate.
Exactly.
You sit here, and on the basis of what you think, the conduct of Fifi-Kwakye,
You say he's
you
insolent.
describe him as insolent.
Yes.
Did
And
I
I've
stop you from doing that?
no, I have shown
But
you.
he has also
I've
shown
showed you why he's
He
talking.
hasn't shown. What has he shown?
Why?
You disagree with what he
That's
has
all.
said, but it
Fine.
doesn't mean he
No,
hasn't
no,
shown.
no. How did he show it?
First of all,
Do what
Nana,
to show you.
hold on.
How did he
First of all,
Yeah.
what you asked me to stop him from saying was a description of an act by your party.
Perfectly
Yes.
legitimate.
It is only after this your protest that
Yeah.
he then went ahead to say what he said.
Okay.
But
even that is
what you wanted me.
So you
Hold on, Nana.
disagree with
no,
me?
hold on.
No
Nana.
problem.
I'm saying that your call to me was very unfair. Because what you're asking me to do is not what he did.
It's not necessarily.
He described an action. And
Okay,
you said that you disagree with
so
that.
let's agree to
It's
disagree.
not even insulting.
Now let me
Why
go
is it?
on.